From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fairbanks Evening News.
Good evening, Fairbanks, and thank you for joining us. Our top story this evening, a warehouse owned by HC Ready Mix on the old Richardson Highway was destroyed by fire earlier today.
That's right. Several fire departments in the borough responded at 11 a.m. to a call of explosions and smoke. When the fire crews arrived on scene, the building was fully engulfed in flames. There were no injuries reported, and they were unsure, what caused the fire. The building was a workshop which contained heavy equipment and construction materials. Gasoline and propane tanks, along with other combustible products, caused the explosions. Fire Chief Jeff Tucker of North Star Fire says the explosions were minor.
There was a couple diesel tanks on the outside of the structure. They were able to pull one of them away. There's still one on the outside. On this side, we've got water going on it now. There may be tanks inside also. We're trying to contain all the structure. All the combustibles inside right now, and the fire is pretty much contained. We've got probably 10 engines here on scene right now, flowing lots of water on the structure.
A sentencing hearing started today in Fairbanks Superior Court for 35-year-old Nairobi Chandler. Chandler had previously pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and tampering with evidence in the death of his estranged girlfriend, 31-year-old Kaylin Bishop. As part of the plea agreement, Chandler faces up to 75 years in jail when he is sentenced tomorrow. Chandler and his attorney, Robert Noreen, had made plans to use a diminished capacity defense had he gone to trial in the case, but those plans eventually fell through. Prosecutors say Bishop, a mother of young children, had been trying to leave a relationship with Chandler when she was killed.
A Juneau consultant will hold community meetings to discuss the possibility of forming a Nenana-based borough. Scheinberg Associates will conduct November meetings in Nenana, Manly Hot Springs, Minto, and Tanana. The city asked the consultant to describe functions and duties of a borough, options for raising revenue, and a borough's effect on existing communities. The consultant will explore maintaining the status quo, annexation into the Fairbanks North Star borough, or creation of a new borough. A final report is to be issued in January.
You might not notice them when you see them, but each day in the interior, hundreds of homeless young people walk the streets simply to stay warm. This week, different agencies across the Fairbanks North Star borough are teaming up to bring light to the situation.
The larger number for the North Star borough, which is around 500 in a year, that are runaway or homeless youth.
The numbers are simply staggering. Children ages 12 to 21 in the Fairbanks North Star borough who are homeless is in the hundreds and growing. On Wednesday, different agencies across the borough will be gathering together for a candlelight vigil to raise awareness of the problem.
The candles and signs we'll be walking with is a good visual representation of the problem and issues and how the youth feel being homeless.
Those who work closely with the youth say they do feel a certain way about their situations.
That they're just like other teenagers, that you don't need to look at them as bad kids. I hate the term at risk. I think that these are the same as your sons and daughters and sisters and brothers, and they're a lot of fun. They're regular kids that are going through a really hard situation, and they need our help.
The number of young people that the agencies help each year is in the triple digits. They provide anything from a warm place to stay to a hot meal.
The SOAP program sees about 266 different individuals a month. And since the Fairbanks Youth Advocates have opened last year, they've seen 150 youth.
But the main thing that the volunteers want to spread to the community is knowledge. Knowledge of the problem and knowledge of these youth and their situation.
I just want more people in Fairbanks to know about the situation. I think that's it's a problem that most people only have a really vague concept of youth homelessness. And so letting them realize that this is going on in Fairbanks and that there are hundreds of youth here in town that don't have a place to go.
Well, Stephanie, it certainly has been cold lately, especially over the weekend.
But not a lot of snow.
Yeah, not too much, but that might change. For answers to that and more, Mike Schultz joins us now with our first look at weather. Mike.
You're right, Daryl. It's going to change. We're looking at some possible snow moving into the picture starting tomorrow, and the temperatures that we're looking at right now are going to even get cooler In fact, we're getting back to normal temperatures for this time of year. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. Speaking of temperatures, looking around the interior right now, it's 17 degrees at Delta Junction. And North Pole, 22 degrees, 25 at Fairbanks and Fort Wainwright, and 24 at Allison Air Force Base. 30 degrees at Nenana, a little warmer there, some winds coming off the river. And chilly at Denali Park, 13 degrees. Like I said, we're looking at cooler temperatures. And in the lower 48, a big storm will bring more winds to Southern California. We'll talk about all the weather later on. Daryl, Stephanie?
Okay, thank you, Mike. And when we come back, Alaska State Troopers are investigating a burglary in North Pole.
Also, state officials are trying to increase turnover in public housing. Those stories are next. Stay with us. And welcome back. Alaska State Troopers are investigating a burglary in North Pole. Troopers responded to the residents at 5 p.m. yesterday after they received the report to further investigate. Upon arrival, they discovered someone had entered the residence earlier in the day, kicking in several locked doors and also stealing a small safe that contained thousands of dollars worth of jewelry. Also stolen was a handgun, iPhone, and an iPod. Troopers ask if anyone has information to please contact them at 451-5100.
State officials are trying to increase turnover in public housing. Beginning in 2014, able-bodied renters in subsidized apartments will have 5 years to transition out of public housing. During the first year, their rent will drop slightly from 30% of their income to 28.5%. However, they will be responsible for paying their own utilities. After that, their rent will shift to a percentage of their unit's market value. The percentage of market value they have to pay will increase annually over the 5 years. State officials said the income-based system was discouraging renters from becoming self-sufficient. The elderly and disabled are not being pressured to work or transition out.
The Fred Meyer Jewelers Department and Fairbanks Police Department are teaming up in a fundraiser to benefit children. Fred Meyer will donate to children organizations such as Make-A-Wish Foundation and the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital from the proceeds of the stuffed animals that they'll be selling. From there, the Jewelers Department will donate the stuffed animals to the Fairbanks Police Department, where they will disperse the stuffed animals out to any children they come across in their line of work. Any customers who would like to participate can do so by purchasing the stuffed animal through the Fred Meyer's Jewelers Department.
We're actually starting a fundraiser. It's actually in association with the Fairbanks Police Department. We're selling Flip and Little Paws here, and we're donating to the Make-A-Wish Foundation and St. Jude's Hospital with our Jewelers for Children program. And actually, the Fairbanks Police Department is going to be taking these with them after some customers that are very generous come and donate them to us, and we donate them to the police department. They're going to bring them on their ride-alongs, and they'll have the little buddies with them for any of the children out here.
During the beginning of the school year, we shared emerging research that modern school starting times hurt teenage sleeping cycles. News Center 11's Tyson Paris Hansen has more.
It's a relatively new finding in sleep science. Teenagers are biologically different than the rest of us and therefore have a different sleep schedule. The National Sleep Foundation references international studies showing teenagers worldwide stay up later and sleep later. The president of the Alaska Sleep Clinic explains why.
Because of those hormone changes, they have this increased alertness, like you said, around 8 p.m. till about 10 p.m. at night, and then it finally starts to drop down again. So the challenge is gosh, these kids are going to school earlier, just having to go to bed earlier. Well, you can ask the child to go to bed earlier, but their ability to get to sleep is still impaired.
A longtime researcher for education improvement at the University of Minnesota supports this point that teens really can't fall asleep before 10:45 p.m.
By the same token, the human brain, teenage brain, is still in a sleep mode with the secretion of melatonin until 8 in the morning. So anytime kids are getting up, that would be earlier than 8 o'clock, they're already disrupting their brain sleep-wave patterns.
First period classes around the globe begin before many teens should even be awake. The National Sleep Foundation says teens average less than 7 hours of sleep per night, which is technically sleep deprived. Sleep deprivation impairs the ability to be alert, pay attention, solve problems, cope with stress, and retain information.
If our real focus is on education, we should make sure our kids are at their prime attention and focus abilities as far as, getting good sleep. So if our kids are already impaired, we're doing a disservice to our children and to the future too as well.
Join us tomorrow as we talk with School District Superintendent Pete Lewis about the subject and possible strategies to improve the quality of sleep and education for teenagers. Tyson Paris Hansen, News Center 11.
So, Joe, what's going on?
Nothing much, just another nice weekend recap coming up in sports, which includes some good news and bad news. The bad news will come out first after the break, but good news, like a team winning a 5th straight title, is on the way. All that and more coming up next. Hello, Interior sports fans. It's Monday, so it's time for another weekend recap. I'm Joe Cook. The Nanooks won their first ever WCHA hockey game with a 5-4 win on Friday night, but they couldn't get their first conference sweep. Saturday night, the Northern Michigan Wildcats and the Nooks tightened things in a 2-1 decision to Northern. Tyler Morley scored less than 2 minutes into the game for the Nooks' early lead. Third straight game with a score for Morley. The Wildcats got 2 goals in the last 5 minutes of the game, of the first period, however. CJ Lugwood had a goal and an assist to lead all skaters, and Stefan Vijay's power play goal with 22 seconds left in the first proved to be the game winner as both defenses and goalies were on shutdown mode. The Wildcats outshot UAF 30-23. Matthias Dahlstrom denied the Nooks 22 times while Davis Jones made 28 saves for the Nanooks. The Nanooks now start a 10-game stretch with 8 on the road. They play at number 14 Lake State this weekend. The Ice Dogs weren't as successful over the weekend, losing 2 one-goal games to the Wenatchee Wild. The Wild won 3-2 on Friday and followed up with a 2-1 win on Saturday. Silver linings that the Ice Dogs will be back home this weekend for 3 straight weekends. The first 2 a series against the top 2 division teams. The Ice Dogs are now 3rd in the Midwest Division. The Minnesota Wilderness are the new division leader after Kenai was swept by the Austin Bruins. Fairbanks will face in-state rival Kenai this Friday and Saturday at 7:30 in the Big Dipper. That's always a good game. The Ice Dogs lead the Era Cup Series 2-0. And it took another career day, but the Nanook volleyball team ended a 6-game losing streak. The Nooks won in 5 sets over St. Martin's, avenging a sweep from earlier this year. It's the first 5-set win in over a year for UAF. Sam Hartoon had a season-high 27 kills, hitting at 37%. Freshman Caitlin Camp set a new career high, 48 assists, and her second career double-double with 10 digs. The Nooks hit 30% as a team and are now 4-0 when hitting better than their opponents. Next up for the 4-20 Nanooks will be a road match against number 3 against number 1, the Seawolves, Saturday in Anchorage. At the Region 6 Swimming and Diving Championship Saturday night in the Hamby Pool, West Valley still rules the waters. The girls' team was led by Cassidy Heaton, who won the 200 and 400 freeze. Zoe Thorson also had 2 wins of the 100 breaststroke and 200 IM. The Lady Wolfpack won the 400 and 200 relays as well en route to their title. The Wolfpack boys swim team was just dominant, winning 9 of 11 events on Championship Saturday. Richard Chin won 100 and the 200 for the Wolfpack. Ryan Nicholson won the 50 free. Tristan O'Donohue won the 100 back, and Tommy O'Donohue won the 100 breaststroke. In diving, Lathrop Zachary Campbell won the region title, and Emily Shipman was the regional titleist for West Valley. Hannah Boatman was a winner for North Pole in the 100 back, and Kelsey Knorr won the boys 500 free. The Patriots won the girls 200 IM relay and fielded a relay team for the first time in a while. North Pole was regional runner-up in both girls and boys teams. Luis Marquez won 4 titles, 2 individual events, and 2 relays, despite being ill, as West Valley won its 5th straight Region 6 championship. Martha Hood won 2 events and was in her first regional championship meet, coming from IDA homeschools and swimming for North Pole. She was super excited about her first regionals.
I got second last year in the 50 free. The state champion didn't swim it this year, so I'm super excited for that. The 100 fly felt great. I'm super excited for that too. I didn't do my best times, but I know that at state I can, so I'm really excited about that.
It means quite a lot to know that I have good teammates that I can train with and still do well at meets even though I'm sick. It just shows how hard we train every day.
It's kind of hard to base our times off this region because it's kind of slow for us, but I think we'll do well overall at state.
And to close out the weekend recap, we have the I-5, the interior top 5 plays. And coming in at number 5 is West Valley's Denali Hodge finds the corner of the court to get the kill for the Wolfpack as they sweep the Patriots on their senior night. And at number 4, Lathrop freshman Cheyenne Dilbert in her first varsity game posted a game-high 14 kills in a Malamute's 4-set win over Allison on Tuesday night. Way to make a debut. And at number 3, hockey, a nice saucy goal from Tyler Morley, who finds the net from the blue line in the Natics 5-4 win over Northern Michigan on Friday night. Big win there, the first WCHA win for the Natics. At number 2, the West Valley swim team wins their 5th straight Region 6 title over the weekend. The girls team wins the 200 freestyle relay by 4/100ths of a second, narrowly beating Martha Hood there at the finish. Photo finish there, and congrats to West Valley. At number 1, Nolan Heisman of the Nanook splits the defense, falls down, but finds Sean Hockhosen for what would be the game winner Friday night for the Nanooks. It was Hockhosen's first career point and the Nanooks' first ever WCHA win. To pick the play of the week, go to our KTVF Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter pages and let your voice be heard. The play of the week will be announced this Friday, as always. And that'll do it for sports tonight. Thanks for rocking with me for a little while. Mike Schultz is next with your full weather forecast, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey everyone, welcome back into the Fairbanks Evening News. Mike Schultz with you once again, taking a look at the weather. It was a nice weather weekend for the most part. We had cold temperatures, obviously, but a lot of sunshine, so all in all, not too bad. We're looking at a big system coming in to affect our weather. I'll tell you about that in just a little bit. Let's start off with our photograph. This one's another beautiful shot. This one from Pam McAllister. She was able to get up in the early mornings and capture this sunrise on the Chena River. Beautiful colors, and you see all the ice starting to float down the river. That's a common sight. Again, if you have a photograph to share, by all means, send it to Mike Schultz at KTVF11.com. Well, what's going on at the airport right now? 29 degrees for the high today. The overnight low was 12 degrees. Our temperature right now, 23. Record high, 42, 1962. Record low, 30 below, 1975. Sunrise and sunset, about 7.5 hours of daylight, a loss of 7.5 minutes from yesterday. You got an air quality index advisory to pass along to the folks in North Pole till 5 p.m. tomorrow. The air in North Pole has been classified as unhealthy for sensitive groups. Kids, seniors, and others with heart disease or respiratory problems should limit their outdoor activities. Okay, here's what's going on in our satellite picture. You can see this is the change I'm talking about. We have an area of low pressure sitting down across the Gulf of Alaska, moving up slowly, but you can see out to the west a lot more moisture associated with this system, slowly working its way in from the west. That's going to give us a pretty good chance of seeing a little light snow, but not really a big accumulations expected. Elsewhere across the state, here's what it looks like. The snow is already falling over to the southwest part of the state. Rain around Kodiak Island, also raining all over southeast Alaska. Partly cloudy skies over the northeast, only 10 degrees for the high at Fort Yukon, 27 at Barrow and cloudy skies. Lower 48 weather, here's what it looks like. And again, you can see we're looking at nice weather over the western half of the country. Chilly, 43 degrees in Denver. Mixed rain and snow around Minneapolis, rain around the Dallas area. Up and down the eastern seaboard, a lot of rainfall too. This storm system is just mainly a frontal boundary, showing a little bit of rain shower activity. Here's the big system we're looking at right here, a new winter storm developing rapidly. And this storm is going to bring with it not only snow in the higher elevations, but also Santa Ana winds to Southern California. Winds gusting as high as 50 miles per hour, and they're going to have a high fire danger over the next few days. You've got to keep an eye on that. The overall jet stream splitting the country in half, to the north, to the south. To the north, a lot of cold air. To the south, warmer and drier. So a lot of weather happening in where these areas come together. Well, back to Alaska for tomorrow. The northern sections, snow showers in Barrow. A few clouds in Nome, some snow for Fort Yukon. Over the interior, we're looking at, for the most part, snow developing across the region with light totals at Healy, Delta, and at Fairbanks. And over southeast Alaska, it looks like rain showers likely for both Juneau and Ketchikan, out to the southwest. Mixed bag of weather once again, mostly sunny in Bethel with scattered clouds at Kodiak and Cold Bay. And over the south central regions, if you head on down to Anchorage, rain showers at Homer, then mixed showers at Valdez and Anchorage. Well, once again, time for our kids' weather and a new school. This week, talking with the kids from Arctic Light Elementary School. And here's a young lady talking about an ice storm.
A few years ago when I was in second grade, we had a rainstorm. All the rain froze and we had a lot of power outages. My sister's bus slid into a ditch. Only a few people that were in my class actually went to school. I wasn't allowed to go to school that day. But later that night, me and my sisters got our sleds and went sledding in our driveway. It was really fun.
And tomorrow night, we'll have another young lady here to share a weather picture with us. Okay, here's your forecast for the remainder of the night. 14 degrees, the overnight low. Another cold night, mostly high clouds. Tomorrow, the clouds move in, and we have some snow developing, continuing into the evening hours, maybe an inch or possibly up to 2 inches possible. 21 degrees for the high and the 5-day period. Looking at high of only 12 degrees on Wednesday, and temperatures are pretty cool across the rest of the week, and off and on chance of snow shower activity, mainly on looking on Wednesday, then Saturday and Sunday, again, a better chance of seeing some snow shower activity. And overnight lows dropping down to the single digits, the first time we've seen that in a long time, but that's what it should be this time of year. The normal low is 1 degree.
Oh, okay. So we're still above, yeah, for this time of year.
Kind of.
Okay. Well, it'd be nice to get some good snow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Time to ski.
Okay. That'll wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. As always, we are glad you could join us.
Tonight on NBC Nightly News, the latest on the shooting investigation at LAX. That's coming up with Brian Williams.
You can join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webcenter11.com.
And that will do it from all of us here at the News Center. Have a good night, everyone. We'll see you back here at 11.